Okay, testing. Doc, I hear you. Hear you loud and clear.
All right, testing the audio. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Makai, good morning. We're just waiting for Cynthia.
Okay, very well. And who's the clerk today?
Mary and Rosalinda?
Oh, it's two of you. You tag team me.
Always.
I know,
Great.
that's right.
Hey, Drew, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm not hearing anybody.
Who's that? Yeah, we can hear you. Whoever that person's talking. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
I can see and hear you, Chris.
Can you hear us, Mr. Viali? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Chris.
It looks like we can hear Chris, but Chris can't hear us.
I'm sorry, I've got you now.
Great.
Minor technical issues. I apologize for that, but we're good to go.
Okay, do we have Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Not yet.
You try to reach out to Cynthia? I'll try and send her a text.
Yeah, Mac, we can hear you now.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Should be able to see me as
Yep,
well.
sure.
Let me try this. There we are. Apologies for the technical difficulties. I'm Mac McGuffey. I'm counsel to Shore Terminals LLC.
Good morning. We're waiting for one member of the hearing board to log on.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thought you were doing it from home, emergency, yeah.
It appears Ms. Verdugo Peralta is having a difficult time with her IT Wi-Fi or logging in. We're going to give her a few more minutes, and if she doesn't log on, then we're going to go ahead and proceed with the hearing. Gentlemen, are you good on time?
Yes, I am. We should be fine.
Yes, sir.
We do apologize.
Oh, no problem. These things happen, of course.
Considering I and Mac both had computer issues trying to log on, I think it's completely understandable. But it's the day and age, you know.
Yes. Okay. I
I'm
see
just,
her hand is raised.
Yeah, I'm happy the air quality board or the management district was able to allow us to do this virtually. Trying to get everybody together was going to be a little problematic, but I do appreciate your leniency in this issue.
Okay, I can see you guys. Can you see me?
Yes.
And you can hear me. Okay, great. I'm good
Yes.
to go.
All right. We're going on the record. I would like to call today's hearing to order at 9:38 a.m. There is a full complement of the hearing board present. There's some housekeeping matters that I would like to address. First and foremost, there were 3 hearings slated for today. South Coast AQMD versus Flex Firm Holdings LLC, case number 6239-1, status report mod order for abatement. That has been rescheduled to a subsequent date. In addition to, is that Lebeco Inc.? Case number 6089-3, a short variance hearing that has also been rescheduled to a subsequent day. So today we will only hear Shore Terminals LLC case number 6281-1 that's seeking a short variance. Some additional housekeeping items to address. So today I'm attending remotely. My agenda was indeed posted pursuant to the Brown Act, as well as any individuals over the age of 18 being present. There are none. There are no individuals present today with me during today's hearing. All right, I'd like to drop down to another matter before we take care of any further housekeeping. We have several matters for us to deal with today, some procedural matters. There's one in particular. Ms. Verdugo Peralta is participating remotely. However, if you reference the agenda, Ms. Verdugo Peralta is participating under a provision known as emergency circumstances pursuant to Assembly Bill 2449. And so at this time, I would like to allow her to provide just a brief description of the emergency, nothing too detailed, but just a brief description of the emergency. And then the hearing board will take a vote. Let the record also reflect that 3 members of the hearing board, which constitutes a majority, is present. A majority is present in one location, which allows Ms. Verdugo Peralta to participate via the emergency circumstances. So Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm attending via the Brown Act stipulation regarding medical emergency. I am still under doctor's care, who still does not want me to be in a vehicle for more than 30 minutes due to the recent hip replacement surgery.
All right, I'd like to lay a motion upon the table to allow Ms. Verdugo Peralta to participate in today's hearing remotely under Assembly Bill 2449 due to emergency circumstances. Is there
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ali and second by Dr. Abraham. Any further question or discussion on that motion? Hearing and roll call. Well, I'll call the roll. I'm normally sitting next to you, Dr. Abraham, but I'll go ahead and call Dr. Abraham first.
Aye.
Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Aye.
No. No, she didn't want.
I can't vote, can I?
Legally, you can vote, but it's not compensation, but you can vote.
Okay.
It's not like, I mean, people abstain, but you can still vote. If you want to abstain, you can abstain.
I'll abstain.
Okay, very well, no problem. Mr. Balakapalan?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Pearman?
Aye.
Ali votes in the affirmative. All right. We did receive, there's some housekeeping on the exhibits. We did receive one exhibit today, respondents exhibit, which we're going to mark as A. The respondents exhibit is the Short Terminal LLC's proposed short variance conditions. Again, short variance conditions, and that's being provided as respondents A. Any additional questions or comments relative to that, Madam Clerk with an S? Are we good on exhibits?
Yes, that's the only exhibit that we have.
Okay, very well, very well. All right. General public comment or evidentiary testimony. Has anyone sought recognition before the hearing board in person? Madam Clerk?
No.
Okay. And has anyone sought recognition online, Madam Clerk, to provide evidentiary testimony or general public comment during
None.
today's hearing? Let the record also reflect by confirmation of the clerk that no one has sought recognition online to provide general public comment or evidentiary testimony. Who do we have representing the petitioner today?
Mr. Chair, I am Mac McGuffey. I am counsel to Shore Terminals. I'm an attorney with Troutman Pepper Locke, and I'm here to assist my client, Shore Terminals, with the variance request today.
And who do we have representing the respondent?
Good
Kiru
morning.
and Chris, if you would go ahead and, oh, I'm sorry, for the respondent. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning. This is Erica Chavez, representing the executive officer.
Ms. Chavez, long time no see. All right, Mr. McDuff. Okay. And is there anyone, I see you by yourself, Ms. Chavez. So go ahead, Mr. McDuff. Why don't you introduce the other distinguished, gentle persons who are participating online?
Yes, thank you very much. Kiru and Chris, if you would please introduce yourself and your position with the company.
Kiru Vairavan, environmental manager for Sunoco, representing part of Shore Terminals LLC.
And I'm Chris Brattle, Senior Director Operations for Shore Terminals for the West Coast Sunoco assets.
All right. Mr. McDuffie, as well as Ms. Chavez, do either of you have witnesses today?
Yes, we do. The two witnesses that we have that have just introduced themselves will be all that we have today.
Okay, perfect. Ms. Chavez, how about you?
I have staff members from compliance and engineering here today, but I don't anticipate calling them.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and just perform the witness oath for everybody, just in case. And it sounds as if we're going to have a very streamlined hearing, Ms. Chavez and Mr. McGuffey, so we can be able to move the people's business rather expeditiously. So if you would stand and raise your right hand. Okay, do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give in today's hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I do.
Okay, the record is clear that all have accepted the witness oath. All right. Okay, Mr. McDuffie, you're a consummate individual. You know what you're doing. The floor is yours for opening statements.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am going to defer the opening statement to our witness, Chris Vidal, who has a brief summary of the situation that we're facing at Shore Terminals and the reasons why a variance would be appropriate in this case.
All right. Thank you, Mac, and thank you for the board today. I appreciate your time. Upon receiving information from a neighboring business of an intermittent odor emanating from our facility, we immediately dispatched an HES specialist
Excuse
trained to
me?
conduct. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
We can, but you need to please state your name and
Oh,
give your
sure.
title,
Yes.
spell it for the record.
I apologize.
Yep, so do us a favor, state your name, provide your title, but spell your name as well, full name.
Sure. Chris
Thank you.
Vrottle, Senior Director for Short Terminals. That is CHRIS. Last name is Vrattil, VRATIL.
Right. Proceed, sir.
Okay, yeah. As I was saying, we dispatched an HES specialist trained to conduct vapor space analysis to the facility to test the tanks. Over multiple days in different conditions, the tanks were monitored using a PID sampling technique, and at no time did we exceed the permitted conditions. But in an abundance of caution and working with the product owner, Sunoco pulled samples, top samples, and we completed a true vapor pressure analysis. To our surprise, this sample came back a few business days later, slightly higher than the tank's permitted TVP limit. To comply with the regulatory reporting requirements, we notified the air district of this issue, and again, working with our customer, pulled samples from different levels of the tank to develop a comprehensive picture of the potential TVP exceedance. While some of the samples taken at certain levels in the tank were permitted within permitted limits, others were not. And as such, in an abundance of caution, Sunoco requested a variance from the air district to allow this product to be loaded out of the facility. To reduce emissions and at the same time as the variance request, working with third parties, Sunoco sourced carbon canisters for the tank and in coordination with our customer, inquired with multiple vendors on different options for controlling loading. After receiving the preliminary ex parte emergency variance, Sunoco was able to identify and engage a vendor to efficiently provide controlled loading services within the variance's conditions. Working with the Coast Guard and Port of Los Angeles and the Air Quality Board, a certified specialized temporary vapor control safety skid was expedited to Texas, or from Texas. The skid was installed at the dock, certified by the Coast Guard, and used to load the product out of the tank into our customer's barge. I'm happy to announce that the product was pumped out of the tank to the greatest degree possible until loss of suction at the tank, leaving roughly 4 inches of product in the tank. The tank continues to have vapor control system in place and is being monitored per the variance requirement. The plan is to bring in compliant product within the permitted limits to fill the tank and complete the confirmatory analysis on the product. Although the refilling could occur by the expiration of our current variance authorization, we are providing testimony today during this meeting in an abundance of caution. We are working diligently with our customers to schedule this next receipt. Refilling should occur this week pending acceptable certifications of analysis and pre-discharge testing. We would like to express our sincere appreciation for the Air District staff's guidance and support, which have been extremely helpful as we move forward in the regulatory process. Thank you.
Thank you. My good friend, Ms. Chavez, opening statements.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. As petitioner stated, they are under an ex parte variance and the district did not oppose that. We have submitted updated conditions today and they're very similar to the ex parte ones. All that has been updated is the control device permit numbers. We do not anticipate calling any witnesses today, but have staff from compliance and engineering here to answer any questions should the board members have any. And subject to the evidence presented today, the district does not anticipate opposing the granting of the variance. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McDuffie, excuse me, Mr. McGuffey, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of points to make, and then we would be interested in any questions that any board members may have. Just to summarize, the situation was one that Shore Terminals could not have foreseen. The product that was loaded into its tank was originally listed in the same way that most of the other product received in that tank is typically listed, but the product, for whatever reason, and we have not been able to identify exactly why or how this came to be, exhibited a true vapor pressure that was slightly higher than allowed under its permit. And because the tank could not hold that product in compliance with its permit, and because it could not offload that product in compliance with its permit, we needed a variance even just to continue to hold the product, but certainly to remove it and continue to use the tank as it is typically used at the facility. And so that is why we originally obtained an ex parte emergency variance, is because we needed immediate relief just to continue to hold that product in the tank. We were unaware as to the nature of that product when it was originally loaded, but it is now, as Chris indicated, been successfully offloaded using the emission control equipment to minimize emissions during that process. Now, all that we are waiting for is to refill the tank with the product that it is designed and authorized to hold. Once that authorized product is filled into the tank, we fully expect that the tank will be in full compliance with its permit and all regulations regarding the pressure of the product that must be in the tank. So that is all we were waiting for. We were actually hoping to be able to avoid the need for this hearing because we thought that that additional product would be able to be loaded into the tank before the hearing would occur. Unfortunately, there's been a short delay, but as Chris said, we fully expect this week or very early next week to have the product needed to refill the tank and demonstrate full compliance. So that is the situation that we are in. We really do appreciate the close coordination we have had with the district.
Oh, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the
And we do want to express our appreciation for the guidance we've received from the district. They've been very helpful providing us advice, and we've worked very closely with them to make sure that we minimize emissions throughout this process. And we're committed to returning to full compliance just as soon as possible, but unfortunately will require just a few more days to do so. We're happy to entertain any questions that any board members may have.
Okay, members of the hearing board. Well, actually, first, Ms. Chavez, did you want to
Yes,
cross?
just a couple questions, please.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. I understand you received proposed condition or conditions with the ex parte emergency variance, correct?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
And are you currently complying with those conditions?
My understanding is we are, but I'll look to my witnesses, Kiru and Chris, to confirm.
We are complying with all of the listed conditions in the variance. Yes, ma'am.
Great. And have you reviewed the respondents' proposed conditions that have been submitted today?
Yes, we have.
And will you be able to comply with those conditions?
My understanding is that we will, and I will turn to my witnesses again to confirm.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long do you expect to, or till what date are you expecting to request the variance till?
I believe that we only need the variance until we're able to refill the tank and confirm that the true vapor pressure of the product in the tank is below 0.5 PSIA in accordance with the regulations. But I'll have to look to my witnesses to see exactly when we think that product will be able to be put into the tank.
We are currently scheduling that event right now. I'm working with our customers to ensure that we have the vessel in place, and then we need to get it on site to offload. But we are planning within the next week to have all that completed.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Members of the hearing board.
Yes, Chair, a couple of questions. Sir, how many tanks do you have there at the facility?
I'll have to look that off the top of my head. There's more than 9 or 10. I don't have the specific number though. I can get that for you.
Okay, just curious. And so what you're reloading though is a different type of petroleum product, correct, than what was in there before?
It is the same type of petroleum product, but it will be on spec. So this product that's in the tank is a fuel oil for vessels. Basically it's called bunker fuel, or like a 6 oil. It's a marine grade diesel type product that's used for vessel fueling. So it'll be the same type of product that we're putting back in, but it'll be on spec.
All right, thank you.
Any additional questions from members of the hearing board? Mr. Balakapalan.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ritelli, you said you pumped out everything from the tank that has been emptied. Tank 8019 has been emptied of its product, which is non-compliant.
Everything that we can pump out has been removed. They pump it down to what we call loss of suction. That's all we can do with the pumps that we have on site, which leaves roughly 4 inches of the off-spec product in the tank.
So that 4 inches, is that still higher than what is allowed in that tank, the vapor pressure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you don't, when you refill, you're going to just add to the existing 4 inches, correct? Oh, what do you?
Yes, sir.
How, okay. And so I'm just wondering, you're requesting a variance from filling the product, the tank. Is that what you're requesting now? Because under the emergency ex parte, you were granted, you said you complied with all the conditions and you've emptied the product to the maximum extent possible. So why are you, my question is, why do you need a variance now to fill the tank?
The filling of the tank is going to have the potential to produce emissions that need to be controlled with control devices that are not authorized in the permit. And until we refill the tank, the vapor pressure is likely to still be out of specification and inconsistent with the requirements of the permit. And so until that filling is complete, we are concerned that noncompliance will continue. As soon as the filling is complete, we do think that is the point at which the tank will return to full compliance, but we need the variance until that time. Just to confirm, I wanted to make sure, Kiru and Chris, that was correct.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a little bit at a loss because the permit is say you should only use it, condition number 3 of the permit. Mr. Fratelli, do you have a copy of the permit in front of you? That's G59046.
I do not. Hold on.
Okay, let me read it. It says this tank should only be used for used cooking oil, decant oil, vacuum gas fuel, fuel oil number 2, fuel oil number 6, or diesel. So is that one of the products you're going to fill it with?
Yes, sir. That fuel oil number 2 or number 6 is like the marine grade diesel that I was talking about before. Yes, sir.
So that fuel oil number 2 and number 6 is allowed under the permit for you to fill the tank with, correct?
Yes, sir. And if I may, the condition that we are more concerned with is condition 4, which says that the true vapor pressure of the products listed in condition 3 shall not exceed the true vapor pressure of fuel oil number 2 under actual storage conditions. And our concern is that the 4 inches remaining in the tank does not or does exceed the true vapor pressure of fuel oil number 2. It's off specification. And so until the tank is refilled, what is in there now remains in non-compliance with condition 4 of the permit. I apologize if that was confusing. There are some overlapping conditions.
Yes, I'm a little confused because normally when the product you got is a non-spec compliant product right now in the tank, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you degas or flush out, clean the tank before you put in a new product in there?
So the most expedient way to return to compliance, the quickest and most appropriate way, was to refill the tank so that the total product in the tank is going to be in compliance with the permit conditions. And so that is the approach being taken. I think it would take quite a bit longer and have greater potential for emissions potentially if you were going to fully clean the tank down to 0. That's why they remove the product down to loss of suction and going to add in additional product to make sure that it returns to compliance as quickly as possible with the minimal emissions possible.
Do you test the product before you put it into the tank for the read vapor pressure?
Testing the product prior to putting it into tank is not common practice. Usually the company relies on the specifications that are provided when the product is received. However, in this case, for whatever reason, the specifications provided with the product when it was received were not accurate based on testing that was done after the fact. But however, I do believe that we plan to test once the tank is refilled to demonstrate compliance, but I'll look to Kiru and Chris to confirm.
Yes, sir. That is in fact. Yeah. So when we get the next vessel in, we're going to do preload vessel testing for TVP and post tank vessel test or post tank receipt testing as well, just to show compliance.
Okay. So okay. All right. Let me go through some of the the condition. So one of the condition of the order is to have an optical, to conduct daily optical gas imaging. Is that something you did during the variance period?
We did during the first week, and then because we didn't have any movements and don't have any findings, and during the holidays we didn't make any, unless we have movements, we didn't do any OGI records. So as needed, and we consulted with the hair district to confirm before proceeding this.
So you're saying you did it in the initial stages?
We did this
Let
to
me back up. Do you have an optical gas imaging system in house?
No, we don't. We had to bring in and certified individuals to do that.
So you hired somebody to do the testing?
Yes.
And did they do daily? This is daily testing. So, and then to provide the record. So have you conducted, did the contractor who you hired conduct daily testing is my question. And have you provided the records to the district?
So the testing was done daily for the first week, but because the results were negative in all cases, and because no product was being moved, there was no expectation that there would be any further emissions that would be identified by that testing. And so the facility worked closely with the district to recognize that further daily testing would likely be unnecessary, particularly given that it does require employing a certified individual that the facility does not have typically on hand.
Okay, that's not reflected in the condition, the order, to waive that requirement of the daily. So, okay. Now let me ask the portable carbon absorber. Now, you got an odor complaint from the petition when the product was filled in the tank, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
the odor complaint was after the filling occurred. It happened a few days after the filling occurred during static tank conditions. That was the intermittent odor complaint that we got.
The filling began on.
I'm sorry, can I just have one witness answer the question because we're going back and forth, it's getting confusing. So I prefer to ask Mr. Rotelli. You're the attorney, so I'm not going to have you testify. So if I can have the witnesses testify. I know you took the oath, but nevertheless, unless you want to testify. But so if you can get Mr. Rotelli to answer the question. So my question is directed to him. Who, you got a complaint, who was the complainant, was it identified? Did you know who the complaint? How did you get the complaint? Who complained?
The neighbor next door called us.
The neighbor next door. Okay. All right. So because there's a condition requiring you to notify if there's a complaint to the air district, correct? Maybe it was in the previous one. Okay. Okay. Now let me ask another couple more questions regarding the. So you have the portable vapor control system in place, the carbon absorber?
The carbon canister system is on the tank. The vapor control system was located at the dock for controlling the vapors off of the barge. So
And
those
that
are two
was-
separate systems.
Two separate. So that since you already offloaded, you don't need to operate that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the barge, condition number 6, during barge loading from tank 8019, that has been completed. So that condition is not applicable per se for the short variance, correct? Because you've already done the offloading.
True statement. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and this one on the portable vapor control, it's got the permit RG5754. Is that did you contract that vapor, that carbon absorber, or is it leased, or is it your control equipment?
That is a third-party system that we hired to come in and do that service for us.
Okay.
That is not our own equipment.
Okay, because, and we did get a copy of that because condition 7 says shall operate the equipment as specified in condition 5 and 6. We have no idea what condition 5 and 6 is, even though it's a reference to it. Do you know what those conditions 5 and 6 are?
If I remember correctly, no, I do not. Do you really?
No, it is referring to the conditions 5 and 6 on the variance, approved variance conditions.
I'm sorry, can you say that?
It was referring to the previous two conditions, 5 and 6. The 7 condition was referring to the previous two conditions. It's already listed in the.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
variance.
Well, it seemed to read like condition 5 and 6 of the permit for the equipment, All right. Maybe I can ask the district staff here, if they have a copy of that or what that's about. The other thing is you're supposed to do condition 3 required to calculate breathing loss, loading emissions, and provide those calculations. So have you conducted breathing loss calculations, emission calculation during the time you had the product in the non-spec product in the tank?
Yeah, we are working. We were planning to provide that as soon as the final compliance status arrived. So it doesn't involve multiple calculations.
Okay.
So we are actively tracking that.
So at this point, you don't have any excess emission. So, well, the product has been offloaded, correct? So there's no excess emission except for the 4-inch. Okay. So I'm just wondering whether we should look at this Exhibit A and revise the conditions because certain things have changed. You have already offloaded the product, so the condition number 6 it's not applicable anymore. Mr. Ratelli, I think you said agreed to that. And then condition 7 says it refers to both carbon and thermal oxidizer. The thermal oxidizer is no longer relevant now because you have done the offloading. Correct. And condition number 8 say conduct marine vessel loading activities. That is for the offloading, I assumed, not for the loading to the tank, correct? Because that's the loading from the marine vessel to the tank is normal routine stuff you do. Anyway, it's already under the permit. So you don't need a variance coverage for that.
That is a true statement, sir, because the next movement we have will be to fill the tank. And that movement will, in essence, put us in compliance upon testing. So anything going out of that tank will not be accomplished until we fill it. So those are true statements. Yes, sir.
Now, let me go back to the optical gas imaging, the contractor that you hired to do the daily gas imaging, and you said you found nothing. But nevertheless, since you're concerned whether the new product may be off spec or may not meet the vapor pressure requirement, are you going to, because the condition said you shall conduct daily optical imaging. After it's filled, are you going to have them just do a couple of days of testing just to make sure everything's okay, or has that been not envisioned? Because we need to then, you'll be in violation of the condition. Condition specifically says you have to conduct daily optical imaging. It didn't say anything about the district agreeing to stop it or discontinue it. So, so that's the concern, I'm raising.
Yes, I think short terminals would be willing to accept revisions to the conditions for the short variance to accommodate both of those changes that you've identified. I think correctly that condition 6 is no longer needed and that the condition on optical gas imaging would only be needed to confirm that there's no further emissions once the tank has been returned to compliance and testing is confirmed vapor pressure within specifications. As long as that's something that the district would be willing to accept as well, it'd be acceptable to us.
Okay, so Mr. McGuffey, so here's what I propose. We're going to allow Verdugo Peralta to ask her questions. Then we're going to take a brief recess, Mr. McGuffey, to allow you and Ms. Chavez to confer. I would assume you do it via FaceTime or via telephony, and you would come back with some proposed conditions or clean up that which was initially tendered. Okay, Ms. Verdugo Peralta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had a simple question. Has this occurred before?
This is the first time we've experienced this event.
Okay, and none of you have ever had any experience, whether it's with this company or another company, of a similar situation. Is that correct?
That is a true statement.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and take Mr. McGuffey, Ms. Chavez, how much time do you believe you need?
Maybe about 15 minutes. But can I just say, I'm not inclined to change the conditions because at this point, the next step hasn't even occurred. So there's still 4 inches left in the tank. And, if the facility decides, oh, I can get those 4 inches out now, the conditions would still apply. The next steps haven't occurred yet. We haven't even started bringing the new product into the tank. And so, in my opinion, the conditions cover any possible next steps. But I will confer with staff and make sure that they are in agreement, and then I will call Mr. McGuffey.
Do you have my number, Ms. Chavez?
If you could provide it.
Sure.
Well, hold on, Mr. McGuffey. We don't want you to give your cell phone number. So why don't we work through the clerk's office, my friend? And let me say, I'm sorry, Ms. Chavez?
Sorry, excuse me, Charlie. I believe Mr. McGuffey has my email address.
I do.
He can shoot me an email.
I'll do
Okay,
it.
so why don't we do this just to make this clean? Why don't we come back? So why don't we at least do 10 to 15 minutes, but if you can confer with the district, Ms. Chavez, if they're not willing, then we'll proceed forward. We don't want to prolong this, but we do want to be able to at least come to a sense of conclusion on whether or not we're going to amend or augment or make any adjustments relative to the proposed conditions. All right, we're off the
Chair
record.
Ali, can we see if 5 minutes is sufficient for this?
Absolutely. So we'll take a 5-minute recess, the initial 5, to allow Ms. Chavez to confer, and then we'll be able to come back and ascertain if we'll proceed forward with an additional 10 or so. All right.
And I apologize for the request. Could I have 2 minutes to confer with my client before talking with Ms. Chavez?
7 minutes then. We're going to take a 7-minute recess.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you.
All right, we're off the record. 7 minutes.
Mr. Chair, I see that our time has expired, but we've just consulted and Ms. Chavez is checking with her staff to make sure that she's okay with a possible option. So we need just a couple more minutes. I apologize.
Mr. McGuffey, not a problem. We'll go ahead and we'll extend it. How many more minutes do you believe we'll need?
At this point, it's up to Ms. Chavez, but I would say at least giving her a couple of minutes would probably be fair.
Okay, so we'll give her another, we'll do this, let's say within 5 minutes. So when I hear her voice or see her in the chair, then we'll proceed forward.
You're ready to go. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. Good deal.
So you gonna run to? Okay.
All right, Mr. McGuffey, I don't see Ms. Chavez, but have we come to a palatable conclusion?
Yes, sir, I believe we have, although I do want to wait for her to return so that she can confirm. But based on my
Okay.
conversation with her, that we have come up with a compromise that we think would make sense for the condition that we've been talking about.
Okay, and what we're gonna do, I believe there's somebody else walking in. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna discuss the new conditions, then we're gonna move to closing. Ms. Chavez, I see you sitting down there. What I was telling my new friend, Mr. McGuffey, is we're gonna discuss a report out, the caucus, what transpired within the caucus, and then we're gonna move to close.
Great.
All right, back on the record at 10:27 a.m. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to allow Ms. Chavez to provide a report out of the caucus meeting. And then Mr. McGuffey will have an opportunity to provide a summation. We'll discuss the amendments, if there are any, to the proposed conditions. Then we're going to move to close. Ms. Chavez, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, I conferred with staff and also spoke with Mr. McGuffey, and we're in agreement that the conditions regarding the barge loading should remain as is. At this point, the next steps have not taken place. There are still 4 inches remaining in the tank, so there is always a possibility that the facility may try to get that 4 inches out and may need to degas the tank, but they have not started loading the tank at this point. In addition, if the facility does start loading the tank and it's tested again and it's non-compliant again, the conditions still might very well apply. So we are in agreement to leave those conditions as is. We are also, we discussed condition 4 about daily optical gas imaging, and the district is in agreement to require that during the loading and offloading of product. So we would suggest the following revision. During the onloading or offloading of tank number 81019, petitioner shall conduct daily optical gas imaging. And that would be the only revision proposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McGuffey, any additional comments to what was initially discussed?
No, Ms. Chavez explained it very well. We are fine leaving the conditions as is, except for limiting the requirement for optical gas imaging to loading and unloading product.
Okay, members of the hearing board, absent a motion to amend it, which I don't particularly see there being a motion laid on the table. Any additional comments relative to the caucus, the report out?
Mr. Chair, I do have condition number 9. Does say shall degas the tank. Now, I'm hearing Mr. Rotelli saying something, they're going to keep the product. They may pump it out, but condition says shall degas the tank after the product is removed of the product. So this implies that it's completely removed. The tank is degassed before the new product is added in. And so, I don't, maybe from shall, maybe may, I don't, in case they don't completely drain it, as I say, they're not going to. So they would not violate this condition number 9 also.
In my
Okay.
opinion, if they do not remove the product, then this condition would not apply to their situation. But if they did remove the product, then it would apply.
All right, Mr. McGuffey. I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm sorry, I'm just
Capello?
yeah. So the removal, they did remove the product, not complete removal. So you're saying it's not completely removed, so not because majority of it is gone now anyway, So after the word may be then the complete removal of the product, so that'll, if they don't do it, complete removal, then they don't have to degas. Just a clarification there,
That's fine.
Okay.
Right, Mr. McGuffey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Closing.
We appreciate the opportunity to request this variance today. We appreciate the board's time. We do believe that a variance is appropriate in this case. The situation arose beyond our control without our knowledge of it. We've done everything we can as a company to remedy the situation as quickly as possible and with minimal emissions. Unfortunately, that has required the tank to continue to hold for a short period of time product that it's not authorized to hold, and it's required us to unload product that we were not authorized to unload, but we have done all we could to procure the best emission control devices that we could to minimize emissions during these procedures. We expect to be in full compliance in a matter of days, but we do need these extra days in order to continue this effort to remove the off-specification product, make sure everything in the tank is on specification through testing that we will report to the department. And at that time, of course, we'll report the emissions associated with our efforts as well. So we'd appreciate your consideration of this variance and granting of it today.
Chavez. And Ms.
Thank
Chavez,
you.
and in your closing, if you do us a favor, or be so kind, as it were, if you would just walk through the conditions, the augmentations one more time. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Chair, members of the board. We believe the facility has demonstrated that the 6 findings can be made, and so the district does not oppose the granting of the variance today, subject to revised conditions. And so the conditions will stand as is, except number 4, which shall read, during the onloading and offloading of tank number 8019, petitioner shall conduct daily optical gas imaging inspections following requirements of Rule 463, F3D, and D3D, period. And the following sentence shall remain intact. And number 9, after the complete removal of product is complete from tank number 8019, petitioner shall degas the tank in accordance with the applicable requirements of South Coast AQMD Rule 1149 and 203, period. And with those proposed revisions, the district does not oppose the granting of the variance. Thank you.
All right. Deliberation. Mr. Balakapalan.
Yeah, I can, with the proposed changes, I think it clarifies a little better. It does appear that I can make the 6 findings that they are in violation because they put an off-spec product in the tank, which is the vapor pressure higher than what is allowed in the tank. So that they're in violation and they need coverage to remove it and fill it with the new one. So filling doesn't really, because that's a normal operation, they don't need a variance. But nevertheless, I think on abundant and caution, as indicated, when they may have, when they fill it and they have to test it to make sure the vapor pressure is below what is allowed, to, equivalent to the fuel number 2, they are way over right now, the vapor pressure. So yes, so it's, and I agree that the 6 going to go through the 6 finding, it's beyond the reasonable control. What we didn't hear is the excess emission, but during the breathing loss calculation, I think Mr. Viren said that the contract, they haven't calculated yet, but they'll calculate and provide that. They did provide some excess emissions calculation for the offloading, and I think it's in the ex parte order, how many pounds of VOCs and NOx might be emitted. So they will continue to monitor the emissions. They'll be using the camera to still continue to use the camera, even though they've noticed not anything but no visible emissions for using the camera. So I can see, I have no problems proposing to issue the variance, a short variance with the proposed with the suggested changes to the variance condition.
All right. Mr. Balakapalan, why don't you go ahead and proffer the motion if there are no other comments from members of the hearing board?
Yes. Just give me a second.
Or take your time.
But I don't have my cheat sheet here in front of me, so I can do a proper. So in the matter of shore terminals LLC, case number 6281-1. I move that we grant a short variance commencing today and continuing through. I'm going to go the 90 days from the date of the interim, just in case, but even though they say they may do it. So till February 12, 2026, from the following rules and subsections, which is listed. So it's the a minute here, and I'll go through that. That in front of me. So it'll be 203B, Rule 463D, 463F3D, Rule 463F3E, 463F4, permit condition 1, 3, 4, and 6 of permit to operate G59046. And this is for the storage tank 8019 that is located at 841 La Paloma Avenue in Wilmington. The excess emissions are to be determined and provided later from the breathing loss. They did calculate the excess emissions from the filling of the offloading of the tank, roughly about after mitigation, 112 pounds of VOC per day, and it's a one-time event. 112 pounds of VOC and 69 pounds of NOx. And the conditions are as set forth in Exhibit A with the changes that Ms. Chavez had made to condition number 4 and condition number 9. And with that, I will conclude my motion.
I'll
There's a
second it.
motion. Go right ahead, Ms. Verdugo Peralta.
I'm seconding the motion.
Okay, so the motion's been moved by Mr. Balaka-Palan, seconded by Ms. Verdugo Peralta. Any further question or discussion on that motion? Hearing none, Dr. Abraham.
Excuse me,
Go
Mohan,
ahead. The
did
clerk
you,
has a question, Makai.
Madam Clerk.
were the rules that you called out were the same as what's on the ex parte?
Which one?
The rules that you.
Yes,
identified, They were the same?
Yeah, the same, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Any further comments, Madam Clerk? Questions? Okay, hearing none. Vote, Dr. Abraham.
I vote aye.
Ms. Verdugo Peralta.
Aye.
Mr. Balaka-Palan.
Aye.
Mr. Pearman.
Yes.
All votes in the affirmative. The matters and motion is hereby approved unanimously. Thank you very kindly. The good folk over at Shore Terminals LLC, as well as Ms. Chavez and company, members of the hearing board, you guys have a phenomenal morning and an unparalleled Christmas, as well as Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. We're off the record at 10:40 and adjourned.
Thank you.
Good job.